So, what is going on, guys? This is Ryan here.
And this is the Ryan here.
And today we once again have another interesting video for you all. Now this one is talking about if the purple badge guy in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 worked in the establishment before Jeremy Fitzgerald.
Yeah, there was a lot of confusion when we first encountered the purple guy in the minigame Save Them. A lot of people were confused about who he was, and today we will be discussing who he possibly could be.
Yeah, I think that the Help Them Save Them minigame possibly sheds the most light on this whole situation that the phone guy speaks about in one of the phone calls, doesn't it?
Yeah, most definitely, yeah.
Okay, so when we play the Help Them Save Them minigame, we actually play as Freddy Fazbear, and we are led through the corridors by the marionette. Now, sometimes we can actually bump into this purple guy who maintains a badge on his chest.
Yes, and the main voice that's going on in the back of the minigame is SAVETHEM, which is Save Them, and when this guy actually gets in contact with you, in the bottom left it says you can't, so it's almost like saying, you know, they're already dead, leave it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and there's a couple of things for me which actually makes me think that this sequence may have actually taken place in the daytime. And with the phone guy mentioning that someone's been moved to the daytime, and then we see this purple guy with this badge, a couple of things are starting to add up here. So the first thing I'll start by addressing is the fact that there are children scattered in the various rooms of the establishment. Now, because of the fact that we are actually seeing kids inside of the establishment, this for me tells me that this does not take place during the nighttime.
No, most definitely not, because, I mean, what kind of killer would leave dead bodies lying around an establishment? Like, I don't know, it's, obviously he's hidden them away, because we can see them in plain sight as we're seeing it now. We can see them all in plain sight, but obviously at the time he must have hidden them away until he was preparing them for something else, maybe.
Well, what I'm actually thinking is that because we see all these children in the establishment, you know, there won't be children in an establishment at nighttime. In Five Nights at Freddy's 1, I believe on the wall when we can sometimes see the rules list, it says everyone must be off the grounds before nightfall, isn't it?
Yes.
So that instantly for me tells me that this act was committed during the daytime, and if you actually count the various children within each of the rooms, there is a total of 5 children.
Yes, and as we know before, there was a previous murder of 5 previous children, and I don't know, there's a lot of things that kind of add up to Five Nights at Freddy's 3 at the end of the death minigame there.
Yeah.
For instance, we see 5 children at the end all like haunting this purple guy, but what if these are the dead children of the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 establishment? Because many people believed it was from the previous one, the Freddy Fazbear Pizza one, I believe.
Yeah, because what I was actually thinking of is, if you actually look at the character we're playing as during this sequence, if we go to the stage room, we can see the 3 main mascots on stage, can't we?
Yes.
So instantly that means we're not playing as any of these toy animatronics, because that's where they lie. And if you also go to the parts and services, we can see what appears to be a withered Foxy, a definitely withered Bonnie, and there's a bit of confusion at the start as to who this third character might be, but we kind of came to the conclusion it should be withered Chica based on there's some kind of beak-like thing, isn't there?
Primary yellow, yeah.
Exactly, yeah, and we can also sometimes see this hallucination of Golden Freddy also, can't we?
Yes.
So it seems like we're playing as almost like the withered Freddy character, and for us to be able to operate this guy, it must mean that there was some previous murders that possibly haven't been spoken about.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really make sense as to why we play as the withered Freddy. It's very confusing, and you know, that's a video in its own why the puppet leads you to the mystery box as there's a dead child next to that one as well. It doesn't really make sense. I mean, if the puppet's in this establishment, then why was he not stopping this purple guy from murdering all these children? It makes no sense.
Exactly, and a minigame you actually spoke about was the one where we play as the marionette, and it gives life to these 5 children. It kind of explains the fact as why there's these 5 children dead. It may be like a, I don't know, a flash to the future as to then when the marionette gives life, when there's these newer mascots, or maybe the old ones replaced, and then it gives life to them by stuffing them and of course giving them the gift of life. So maybe these 5 children were the origins of what became the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 animatronics.
Yeah, quite possibly. I mean, there's what we know to be an amount of 10 victims right now, so where these victims resign is a mystery still. So I don't know, yeah, it's very confusing.
As for these 5 though, this is what makes me think it must be the same purple guy, because in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 on night 5, if we are speculating that these 5 children were stuffed into the animatronics that became the main mascots in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, they're each dismembered, and by the 5th night we see these 5 children in their more physical form. I won't exactly say physical because they still seem quite ghostly, but you know, with these 5 children in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, then the sequence where the marionette gives them all life, and then in Five Nights at Freddy's 1 when we get to play as them and they all come back to kill this purple guy, it must be for revenge, and it must be the same guy from this minigame.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Another thing as well which kind of hints to it as well is, you know, the characteristics, the way he kind of destroys these animatronics.
Yeah.
If you look in the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 game, he also prevents the animatronics from doing something. So, and then they appear very withered. So for all we know, this could have been like the early stages of him trying to dismantle maybe something he did even in past establishments too.
Quite possibly, yeah, definitely. That's a very strange one, yeah.
So he could definitely be entwined with kind of some of the main motives of this. I definitely don't think it's the phone guy, so we're still yet to answer exactly who this purple guy is.
Yeah, that's very interesting, because as we know, Scott just likes muddling around the timeline, so he's just having a big laugh at our expense at the moment, so yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And yeah, well, he's having a very good, successful attempt at doing it as well, I would say, because we're still yet to crack a lot of the mysteries. So there's so much entwined, but I think we're getting closer. So there we have it, guys. There's once again another interesting theory for you all. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. Be sure to comment down below any of your thoughts on this topic.
If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like it. And if you're new around here, why not subscribe for more theories like this and also some gameplay.
Precisely. So thank you very much for watching this video, guys. And we'll, of course, see you on the next one.
Goodbye, guys.
Want to see even more content from us?
Consider liking and subscribing to ensure you'll see all content in the foreseeable future.
And hey, why not check out our past 2 videos?